The best product leaders aren't just product managers. They are part psychologists, part economists, part strategists. They see the world through a lens of first principles. But how do you move from theory to practice? How do you stop being a victim of chaos and start being the architect of your own outcomes? This is the Sovereign PM, the podcast that deconstructs the ideas of product strategist Schwarzkopf to give you a more powerful way to think and lead. It's time to own your outcomes. Let's begin.
You know that famous anecdote from David Foster Wallace about the fish?
Oh yeah, the one with the two young fish.
That's the one. They're swimming along, meet an older fish who says, "Morning, boys. How's the water?"
And the young fish just keep swimming
Yeah.
until one finally asks the other.
What the hell is water?
Right.
It's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it?
Right.
For those really fundamental things around us that are so pervasive, we don't even notice them.
We don't see them. They just are. And I think that's kind of the uncomfortable spot for us as product leaders right now. We are those young fish.
Mm-hmm.
We're swimming in what we think is familiar water, our usual product development methods, market assumptions we've held forever, the competitors we think we know.
Yeah, we're busy debating the details, the swim stroke.
Exactly. We're arguing about rice versus WSJF or whatever internal framework is flavor of the month.
Completely oblivious, potentially, that the actual, chemistry of the water is changing around us. It's undergoing this huge systemic phase transition. And that's what the quote-unquote older fish people like Professor Gundry Dueck or Sebastian Thrun are telling us. The water is different now.
It's not just a gradual shift. It's something fundamental. We're talking AI,
Yeah.
massive automation, systemic disruption. It's not just a ripple. It's maybe closer to a tsunami hitting the shore.
So the point of this deep dive, our mission here, is really to try and understand this new water, to unpack these huge shifts.
And figure out how we as product leaders need to adapt our strategies, not just to tread water, but to actually thrive in this completely new environment.
Right. It's about finally seeing the water we're swimming in. So let's get into it.
Okay, so maybe the first big thing to grapple with is how competition itself is changing. It's fundamental.
For years, it felt like a features race, didn't it? Competitor A launches X, so we need X plus something or a faster X.
Exactly. Feature parity. Build a better, faster, shinier version. That was the game plan. Our roadmaps reflected that head-to-head battle.
Yeah, and we got pretty good at playing that game. But it feels really outdated now.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Because the new reality, your main competitor probably isn't another specific product anymore.
What is it then?
It's a fundamentally different system of production. It's not just what they build, but how they build it. The efficiency baked into their entire system.
And the prime example you brought up earlier is Xiaoyan, which is fascinating because most people probably still think, oh, the phone company.
Right. But there's so much, they call it a car phone home ecosystem.
Yeah.
They're making TVs, washing machines, robot vacuums. It's all connected.
And the efficiency numbers are just staggering.
They really are. Get this. They have about 50,000 employees total. Half in R&D, which is already interesting. But for their car division,
Yeah.
just 2,200 employees plus 1,500 robots can churn out 350,000 cars a year.
Wait, say that again. 2,200 people and some robots?
Yep. And that production rate, it's something like 4 times more efficient per employee than a giant like Volkswagen.
4 times. That's hard to even process. How is that possible?
Well, a big part of it is what they call dark factories,
Dark factories, meaning
meaning fully autonomous production. Lights out. Machines, building smartphones, building cars, with almost no human hands involved directly on the line.
wow.
And it's not just assembly. They're pushing the envelope everywhere. They're aiming to design their own high-end 3-nanometer chips. That's a bleeding-edge semiconductor tech.
So incredible vertical integration, radical automation.
Huh?
The efficiency is baked in deep.
Exactly. And when you see that, it just shatters all the old assumptions about product development, timelines, and costs.
Okay, so back to us. The product leaders, we're sitting here maybe planning our next sprint, estimating story points.
Sure.
How do we even begin to factor this in? If that level of automated efficiency is the competition, what does it mean for our planning, our effort estimates?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe the billion-dollar question. You simply cannot estimate effort based only on your team's current capacity or velocity anymore.
You have to think about it.
You have to think about your competitor's potential effort, especially if they're leveraging this kind of automation. What if their entire QA process is AI-driven? What if AI writes their first draft documentation? deploys code automatically.
Okay, yeah. How long does it take your team versus their potentially near zero marginal effort for some of these tasks?
The answer should be, frankly, terrifying,
Mhm.
but also motivating. It has to be.
Terrifying, yes. Motivating because it shows the path, maybe. Our own internal dark factory isn't a nice to have, it's the strategic imperative.
Precisely. You, as the product leader, need to become the loudest voice, the biggest champion for building your own team's dark factory.
You know?
Meaning you have to aggressively prioritize using AI to automate your internal processes. Seriously, look at it. Can AI generate that first draft of user docs?
Freeing up writers for higher level stuff.
Exactly. Can AI write unit tests, integration tests? Can it sift through mountains of user feedback and support tickets to pinpoint the real critical issues instead of someone doing it manually?
So this isn't about efficiency tweaks anymore. It's survival. It's foundational.
It's absolutely foundational. It's about changing how we build, fundamentally.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. There's another core belief that's getting shaken up.
Which is,
The idea that our unique human advantage lies in creativity, strategic insight, that out-of-the-box thinking. That was supposed to be our defensible moat, right? Especially in product strategy.
it was. And look, human creativity and strategic intent are still crucial. But the timeline where that's a unique advantage, it's compressing dramatically.
ISO.
Sebastian Thrun talks about this very clearly. He says, current LLMs are basically giant statistics, reflecting patterns in data they've ingested.
Okay.
But even as just statistics, they're already outperforming humans in very specific pattern-heavy domains. Think AI passing the bar exam. Think diagnostic tools in medicine.
Right, things we thought required deep human expertise.
Exactly. It's not science fiction anymore. Thrun calls it the onset of a soft singularity, where the pace of innovation just goes almost vertical. It's accelerating incredibly fast.
So, if AI gets really good at the what, analyzing data, spotting patterns, even suggesting features, what's the product manager's role? Where do we add unique value?
That's the critical shift. The PM, whose primary job is just defining what to build, that role's value is diminishing rapidly.
Because AI can do that part, potentially better and faster.
Correct. And AI can digest user feedback, market trends, competitor moves, and generate a backlog arguably more comprehensively than any human. So where's the leverage?
The why.
Exactly. Your new defensible ground, your real power, lies in defining and fiercely guarding the why. You become the keeper of the product's soul.
The soul, meaning?
Meaning the core strategic intent. The fundamental problem you're solving for users.
Yeah.
The ethical considerations. The long-term vision. The what because table stakes. The why is where your strategic value now lies.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Shifting focus from features to purpose, essentially.
Precisely. And that demands a different kind of skill set, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It's not just about writing user stories anymore.
No. It demands what you might call radical curiosity. Thrun's advice is blunt. You have to be playing with AI. Constantly.
Experimenting.
Every day. Trying new models, new tools, pushing their limits. The product leaders who succeed will be those who build an intuitive, almost gut-level feel for what these AI systems can do, and just as importantly, what they can't do yet, or what they shouldn't do.
Building a new kind of literacy, almost.
Exactly, which leads directly into this idea of prompt engineering.
Which sounds technical, but you're saying it's not just for engineers.
Not at all. It's deeply interdisciplinary. It's about logic, yes, but also creativity. It's about understanding your domain deeply enough to ask the right questions, to frame the prompts in a way that guides the AI towards a truly useful, nuanced outcome.
So it's communication, effective communication with a non-human intelligence.
Precisely. And who's better positioned for that than product managers, who already live at the intersection of business, tech, and user needs? It's becoming a core competency.
Okay, so we've talked about competition, about the PM's role shifting to the why, and the need for radical curiosity. What about the team itself? The people building the product?
Ah, yes. Because the nature of the team is changing too, profoundly. We used to think about managing teams of humans. That was the job description.
And now?
Now, the reality is we're increasingly managing hybrid teams. Humans and AI agents working together.
Hybrid teams. What does that look like in practice?
Well, look at what's happening in advanced manufacturing, like in China. You see companies like Robosense or UB Tech developing these humanoid robots.
Yeah, the ones that can actually perform complex tasks.
Exactly, working alongside humans, sometimes in teams. It's not just a factory floor thing. That's a preview of our future in knowledge work too, including product development. These AI tools aren't just software we use. They're becoming in a sense, collaborators.
Okay, but that brings up the fear factor, doesn't it? If AI takes over low-value tasks, many people feel like those are their jobs right now. How do we navigate that?
That's absolutely critical. And the framing matters immensely. Like, AI isn't going to replace your truly great engineers or designers.
It's going to.
Augment them, make them superhuman almost, by taking away the repetitive, the tedious, the often soul-crushing parts of the job.
Like,
Think about a designer using AI to instantly generate 10 layout options so they can focus their energy on the user experience strategy. Or an engineer having AI write boilerplate code, freeing them up for complex architectural problems.
so the PM's role here is partly change management, helping the team see AI as a partner, not just a threat.
A huge part of it, painting that vision, showing them how AI elevates their work, makes their core skills more valuable by removing the drudgery. It's about augmentation, not replacement, for the key roles.
Which logically leads to how we hire and develop talent, right? Hey, the old resume listing specific tools or languages feels less important.
Much less important. Hiring for a fixed static skill set, that's becoming obsolete very quickly.
So what do we hire for?
Adaptability, insatiable curiosity, a genuine commitment to continuous learning, and maybe even more importantly, unlearning.
Unlearning.
Yeah, letting go of old assumptions and ways of working, because the landscape is shifting that fast. Your most crucial investment might not be hiring new people, but aggressively reskilling your current team.
So championing budgets for training, workshops, dedicated time for learning these new AI tools.
Absolutely. You have to build that culture, that famous saying, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's never been more true. You need a culture of radical curiosity and continuous transformation. If your team isn't constantly learning, they're falling behind, period.
Okay, final theme. This one feels maybe a bit more out there, but potentially massive. Transportation.
Yes, the death of distance, perhaps.
Maybe. We inherently design products assuming certain things about logistics, physical presence, travel times, mostly ground-based travel.
Right. Our mental models are built on roads, shipping routes, physical stores, face-to-face meetings. That's the old framework.
But that whole concept of travel and presence is being reimagined, isn't it, by two big things.
Two huge things converging. Autonomous aerial vehicles, think drones, air taxis, and incredibly immersive virtual communication tools.
Sebastian Thrun's vision here is pretty wild. Air travel basically replacing a lot of ground traffic.
Yeah, he argues it's safer, way faster, like 200 kilometers per hour versus maybe 30 in city traffic, and for many trips, potentially more energy efficient.
And you said this isn't just theory anymore. Companies are actually doing that.
Oh yeah, companies like EHang, Xpeng in China, they're already doing trials, even selling personal aerial vehicles. And the big players, VW, Boeing, they're investing heavily, buying startups. It's happening. It's not a matter of if, but when this becomes mainstream and how quickly.
Okay, so how does that change things for our products, the ones maybe designed assuming traffic jams and slow deliveries?
That's the question you need to be asking. How does your product's value proposition shift if a person or small package can travel 100 kilometers in half an hour, maybe for relatively low cost?
The implications are huge for, well, almost everything. E-commerce, local services, logistics, urban planning.
Everything. Are the assumptions baked into your product about physical distance and travel time still valid?
Yeah.
Or are you designing for yesterday's world?
And the flip side of physical travel is virtual presence. We need to think about that differently, too.
Absolutely. Treat virtual presence as a potential core feature, not just a pandemic workaround.
How so?
Ask yourself, what parts of our user journey currently require physical travel? Sales meetings, training sessions, site inspections, field service. Now, how could next generation VR or AR tools, which are getting seriously good, replace or significantly augment that physical requirement?
So seeing virtual communication as a form of travel itself, travel to a shared space, a digital twin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It opens up completely new product possibilities. It fundamentally changes what it means to be there.
Wow. Okay, so bringing this all back to the fish.
Yeah.
This stuff, the automated competition, the shift to Y, the hybrid teams, the death of distance.
This is the water. These aren't just trends. These are systemic, fundamental changes to the environment we operate in. The water is different now.
And the biggest risk isn't necessarily being out-featured by a competitor.
No. The greatest danger is simply failing to notice. Failing to realize that the fundamental properties of the water have changed while you were busy perfecting your old swimming technique.
So our job as product leaders, it's evolving again. It's not just navigating the known currents.
It's about sensing the deeper shifts, understanding the new physics of this environment. It demands that radical curiosity we talked about, a willingness to constantly question assumptions.
And the courage, really, to lead our teams into something that feels, well, both kind of terrifying and also full of incredible new possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with is this.
Yeah.
What if the most dangerous assumption we're holding on to right now isn't really about the technology, but about our own ability, our own willingness
Yeah.
to unlearn everything we thought we knew?
And that brings us to the end of this debrief. Our goal is to give you not just ideas, but a more powerful way to think. If you found value in this discussion, the best way to support this work is to give this episode a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future session. And if you know a fellow product leader who is wrestling with these same challenges, feel free to share this episode with them. As always, you can find the link to the original in-depth article by Karsten Schwarzkopf directly in the description below. Thank you for your time and your attention. Stay sovereign.